Greetings everyone, Zoe Wind here, checking in from Tulum, Mexico at this beautiful Airbnb where there's all of this art on the walls. So I'm out by this little pool. All of the Airbnbs come with their own little private dipping pool. Actually, that one's really nice. I might stand here. And I wanted to come in and give you the forecast for April. April's a big month. I don't think that is like new news to anyone. We have the major total solar eclipse in Aries, exactly conjunct Chiron and the North Node. This is beyond powerful, I think. You know, there's a number of important aspects happening this month, and the April eclipse is really the gateway that's preparing us for what I see as an activation for global healing. Chiron, with this eclipse, signifies that healing is everything in this moment, and Aries is the sign of selfhood, identity. Who am I? The soldier, the warrior, who's so dedicated to protecting what we find sacred. We are the protectors of the tribe, and also as Aries, we are the scouts. And we are all Aries, we are all 12 signs. And so you want to look at the house containing Aries in your chart to know where you're being activated. But we're all being asked to embody Aries this year because the North Node is there, which is governing collective evolution. And so Aries is the scout who goes out ahead of the tribe to see if it's safe, to see if there's resources, to see the new way, the new path forward. It's the first sign in the zodiac. And so it's like the first one to go, right? And report back and be that brave individual in service to the collective and the tribe. And we're all being asked to do that in our own way. I wrote an article earlier this year about this Aries energy called Fortune Favors the Brave. You might want to go and check that out on my Substack. But it's really a year for courage. All year with the North Node in Aries. It's like, make the leap, take the leap of faith, put forth your ideas, your innovations, your vision, your personal perspective on the world, because we need it. We need solutions. We need new ways forward. The old ways aren't working anymore. They're slowly crumbling, or more and more quickly crumbling as we move forward. I've been here in Tulum for a week and a half, I think, for an event called Regen Week. Wasn't considering the traffic noise when I chose this spot, but I'm gonna keep going with it because it's just so beautiful out here. But Regen Week is all about regenerative projects, new earth leaders, thought leaders, visionaries, regenerative land projects. This was a whole group of about 100 people who came together here as a part of an event called Tribalize, which Brad and I have been organizing down here for 7 years, but it was bigger this year with multiple events at different venues across the city. And it was just so inspiring, like to see that so many people are dedicating their lives to projects that will change the world, that will create more options, a new future potential for the planet with the cutting edge, leading technologies, leading visions, new philosophies, and everyone's there to like challenge themselves, to think differently, to think outside the box, to collaborate. These are all key words for April. Collaboration is extremely important this month because no matter how much of an individual we are, aligned with our truth, our purpose, our mission, if we're here to do something big, even if it doesn't seem big, it's going to take a team. It's going to take more than one person. It's going to take collaboration to make it happen. And so the South Node is in Libra as the North Node's in Aries because they're always directly opposite each other. And so we're draining, the South Node drains and clears and purifies Libra things, contracts, relationships, partnerships, collaborations that were not in alignment. For Aries, the forward motion, the birthing of something new, a new way, the brave new world that we are wanting to co-create. And so it's actually also this promise that as we stand in ourselves, in our truth, and we authentically, courageously share and represent who we are, those people will start to magnetize to us the right relationships, the right collaborations and support that we need. So I wrote an entire article on the Aries eclipse called Riding Dragons. You can also find that at my Substack. But looking at April overall, I mean, it's just a game changer month. It is wild card energy. It is, eclipses are portals through which random things fly out and random things fly in. That is April 8th. If you can look up on timeanddate.com to see the path of totality runs from, Mexico up through Texas and up into the East Coast. A lot of people are flocking to Texas for that. A lot of people I know are deciding not to go. They're like calling me up and they're like, I don't know, I feel like 40,000 person festival might not be the place to be. Telling everyone, trust your instincts, trust your intuition. Keywords for Aries, our instinctual nature, our intuitive connection to source as our one and only source of truth. Now this takes cultivation. This takes learning to know and say when we're not clear, when we don't know, right? That's just as important as it is to just grasping onto some message. Because we want to be clear, right? We want to take action. Aries wants to take action. It feels this like, I need to do something. But making sure we're clear is step number one. And so if we're feeling unclear about going to an event or feeling that like, I don't know, that might be all the clarity we need. Other people I know are 100% so excited to be there. Eclipses are intense, so wherever you are, expect people to be agitated or intense things happening or things not to go the way we have planned, and just plan to go with the flow, to embrace, to see that there's magic available in all of these experiences, and that sometimes things are just wonky and things are moving in and out of the field to realign us with something else. We don't have to like it, we don't have to understand it, but we also don't have to create a bunch of tension in our system. We don't have to fight it, right? So Aries is often the one to be like, yes, it can be confronting. Confronting can be very important to keep the peace, to maintain the long-term vision that we're seeking to cultivate. But sometimes it's like, peace, I'm gonna go over here and do my own thing. I'm gonna go forge my own path in this moment. I'm gonna take a step away from the intense energies or a conflict that seems to not want to resolve or be available to resolve. And that is all completely okay. So those are some strategies I have for this energy. And with Chiron, it's like we have an opportunity for healing. Every single individual, no matter where this is in your chart, this is a call of destiny towards our own individuated healing. Of really looking within, of meeting what comes up, the sensitive, vulnerable stuff. Early childhood wounds are all held and wrapped up in Chiron. But Chiron is an asteroid between Saturn, the known universe, stability, structures, the 3D, the matrix, our responsibility, and Uranus, which blasts us off into a higher dimensional reality, a higher state of awareness that we didn't even know existed. So, inviting you all to embrace that no matter what we think we know, there's always a higher state of awareness available. There's always a more non-attached, more loving, more beautiful, hindsight is 20/20. There's always a higher perspective that we can reach, and to really embrace that with whatever might come through, whatever we might be going through, if it's sensitive, if it's intense, that it is bringing us to a higher revelation, that is available, and to continue to seek that, to continue to cultivate self so that we can find that. This is also a really big month for revolution, personal revolution, global revolution, technological revolution, innovation, progress. Jupiter and Uranus are conjoining April 20th. in Taurus, the sign of the body, our values, financial systems, money, financial markets. Uranus is technology and electricity and energy. And he's turning our values of money in Taurus into more and more currents of energy. Currency is changing. Our energy is currency. Our vibe is currency. Our tribe is currency. Our values are changing. Our currency is so much more vast than we realized, right? And so we might see big shifts in the crypto market. I know Bitcoin is happening on that day. Not surprised to see a major shift in the crypto space as this Jupiter Uranus aligns in Taurus. And so Jupiter being present there with Uranus is the great expander. He's just going to expand it. He's going to make it bigger, more impactful, more visible. And Uranus is innovation and accelerated developments. So all of a sudden, like where you thought you were here, you just jump up here, right? And so Jupiter's expanding all of this. Like, so we have this eclipse portal opening to just really be like, look, what do you need to heal? What's in the way of you stepping into your future human, your next version of yourself, the next emanation of your project, your work, your relationships, your home, living situations, family, your level of consciousness around what the heck is my life about and what is my purpose, right? This is all available to accelerate rapidly. And so the eclipse is opening what needs to heal, what needs to clear, what's aligned, what's not. Things might get a little wonky. And then April 20th, it's a huge expansion. It can also be wild card, unexpected changes, unexpected news that might not feel so pleasant to begin with. But it is definitely in alignment that this is ultimately for the forward motion, progress, advancement of humanity, whatever's happening. Always feel a little reticent when I say that because, you know, we don't want something terrible to happen, and we would never take away from if something really challenging is happening in our lives that we wouldn't maybe ever choose that, right? But just inviting us to see that higher perspective that somehow whatever comes through is here to bring us to a higher state of awareness that's going to expand us into spiritual connection, enlightenment, awakening. You know, just maybe we won't be fully awakened, but we will have some level of it's a very revelatory kind of energy. It's also in Taurus, which is the body, beauty, pleasure, a relationship to the physical world. Is it sacred? Is it luscious? Is it beautiful? Is it sexy? Are we appreciating what's in our lives, you know? And so maybe experiences like that are coming through that are going to make us really understand that our resources are far beyond money. They're far beyond even our physical beauty. They're far beyond what people tell us we're valuable for, right? Our resources extend into all of our relationships. They extend into our philosophy, our wisdom, our gnosis, our willingness to give and share. We have a lot more than we think we might have to offer this world. At least I've come to realize that over and over again. And so just welcoming everyone to expand your awareness of the resources that are available to you. You know, I was just speaking with a client and we're talking about like we need community. Like if I'm here at Regen Week, you know, people are planning for environmental degradation, potential environmental collapse. People are looking, scientists are looking at these very real possibilities, and money in a homestead may not actually be everything we need. We're going to need our neighbors. We're going to need our family. We're going to need our community. We're going to need knowledge. We're going to need knowledge keepers, right? We're going to also need hard work. We're going to need so many things. Healthy ability to have stable relationships is key, right? So that's my little take on the two major events, the April 8th total solar eclipse in Aries and the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, which I also think is activating the future human. So I've been inviting everyone to really feel into like, who is my future human? In this new earth, who am I? What do I want to be? How brilliant can I be? What are my superpowers? Because we're waking up to our superpowers. Technology, we might see some rollouts of technological advancements, breakthroughs that are being announced in this month. And whatever we might feel or think about artificial intelligence, it's here and it's probably going to keep developing. I tend to approach things from a philosophical lens. And so it's like, what is AI teaching us about our own capabilities? How is the technology a cosmic mirror that can actually expand our evolution? Like even the way you have to give commands to Midjourney or ChatGPT and ask questions just right and frame it and be, describe this and that in the proper way is restructuring the way we think about the world. Our technology shapes us the same way we shape it. Technology is one of our creations, so are our children. And children certainly shape the way we see ourselves, right? Any parent out there knows having a kid will completely catalyze an immense amount of growth in your life. And so taking a look at the higher potentialities for how technology is informing our evolution as a species, and how can we more consciously co-create that, engage with that, direct that, ask the right questions. Speaking of questions, we have Mercury retrograde, this month, which he's stationed April 1st. And he's gonna cross the eclipse point 3 times. So just consider this eclipse is happening all month in a sense. He's also gonna conjunct Chiron and Venus when she enters Aries on April 4th. So this is like, it's just essentially saying that this eclipse is extra important and we need to think about it, right? Mercury's our mind, our communication, it's in Aries. Aries wants to be, action oriented, make it happen, let's do it now, let's create something new. And he's gonna go retrograde in Aries. So also whatever comes through this eclipse portal, through the April 20th event, take some time to let it integrate. Let yourself feel into what it means. Contracts, generally they say don't sign them under Mercury retrograde, but if it's a well thought out contract, we've been considering this a long time, those things can still tend to move forward with a relative amount of smoothness, because Mercury retrograde wants to be very pensive. It wants to really review. It wants to know that we feel it on all levels. We feel it deeply. We think before we speak. So there might be a little bit of push and pull since he's in Aries and he might want to charge. I want to give you some of the dates on that. So we have, somehow I'm down at the end. Mercury conjoins Chiron. Well, he'll go over the eclipse point on the 15th, and then he'll station direct on the 25th, conjunct the North Node, but he doesn't perfect it, and then recrosses the eclipse point on May 5th. So these are key dates to remember, that whatever's coming up around the April 8th eclipse, on the 15th, again on the 25th, and then by May 5th, we will have more clarity around what it means, events moving forward, plans moving forward around that. It might be more like we're in discussions, we're in negotiations, we're brainstorming, we're masterminding, we're making connections, we're aligning ourselves with who we need to be for whatever has presented itself, and then come May, things start to shift and move forward again. He's also going to meet with Venus and Chiron on the 17th, and the 6th he'll meet with Chiron. So this is where we get really key insights into our healing, our self-growth, our self-development, the old paradigms, the old programming of like, I can't do this because of that, or I can't do that because of this, and I'm not capable, or I'm not strong enough, or I don't believe in myself. Aries is about that self-confidence. So it might be things like that, or it might be feeling really sensitive, or sometimes it's focusing too much on self with Aries, and we really want to realign our will with divine will, with our purpose, with our mission, what we're here to do, how it's going to help others to get out of ourselves. Is a really great Aries strategy to show up for others, even if we think we don't have anything to give, or if we think we're the sensitive one. Go show up for someone else. This is birthing new earth leadership on the planet, leadership that isn't about ego and self. It is about helping create more leaders, helping support everyone around us in realizing that they're a leader in their own way. Mothers are leaders, chefs are leaders, children are leaders, healers are leaders. We're all leaders in our field, in thought, in how we're cultivating ourselves, how we're cultivating our craft, our vision, our mission. And so it's a beautiful time to ask ourselves, how can I lead in a way that uplifts others, that brings them into their own leadership? Because if anyone's been in a leadership position in an old paradigm situation, you know that trying to motivate people who don't feel like they're empowered can be pretty much a waste of time, right? And it can lead to a lot of frustration. And this was one of the issues in the old system, is people were disempowered and then asked to just show up and be a soldier and get in line, or be a machine in the system, right? So now we have an opportunity to empower each other, to uplift each other, to keep seeing each other's strength, seeing each other beyond, supporting and encouraging each other to do the things that get us there, that cultivate that, the real life. It's not just being like, you're amazing, I see it, you know, and being like, oh, but we're gonna avoid this like self-destructive thing that you're doing, you know? It's like, I see you beyond that. How can I support you to get beyond that? Do you need to feel someone love you and believe in you? Chiron is the great mentor, and it's activating all of us into mentoring each other. It's really beautiful. So, and Aries just gave me that quote, the good leaders empower other leaders and help uplift other leaders. I think that's really a big part of how the age of Aquarius is going to play out. All right. Venus conjuncts Neptune, April 3rd in Pisces, healing. Allow this portal right before the eclipse to soften, to bring forgiveness. Whatever has been going round and round and round lately, just see where you can forgive yourself and love yourself more. Often we're actually angry at ourselves for choosing the toxic relationship, staying in the job too long, doing this too long. And we might be projecting it out there, we might be self-criticizing. Whatever it is, where can we just see that we are literally collectively healing trauma from 2,000 years of the age of Pisces in this transition into a new age? That everyone has programming that is broken. There have been wars, there has been genocide, there has been so much on this planet that has left remnants, right? And so this is a time of undoing that. This is a time of clearing that and saying, I don't need to take these parts with me. They're not serving the actual healing and progress and lessons available from whatever ancestral karma, my own experiences, this challenging thing. Why did I make that decision? There was always a reason. I always say no one does anything for no reason. There is always a reason. Now, was that reason always in truth, always in clarity, always in divine alignment? No, but there was a reason. So we can look at that. Okay, well, that was the best I could do, they could do, we could do at that time. And how do I love and forgive myself so I can give myself permission and say, I love you enough and I deserve to choose something different, to change my mind. We all have the right to change our minds and to trust our instincts, which this Aries North Node with Chiron is activating. April 4th, the Sun will conjunct the North Node. So this is 4 days before the eclipse. We get an insight. We get some illumination as to what this eclipse is going to bring or be about for us, or it might be in our community and the people around us. So just a good day to pay attention, to feel, listen to your intuition, because it will be boosted. We have Mars conjunct Saturn at the 15th degree of Pisces on April 10th. This is a power day for manifesting visions and dreams and action that is it's like self-refinement. Like, okay, I can't just be so Piscean and trust that I forget that I have to take the action here. But it can also be that this inner work we've been doing for a long time starts to take physical form. So I love this Saturn in Pisces. He's really helping us anchor dreams, the seemingly impossible things, into reality. And he's ruling, or, he's the guardian of the sign of Aries and over this eclipse that's happening. And he's with Saturn. He's saying, I need integrity, I need concrete action, and it needs to be aligned with source consciousness, unconditional love, truth through the mystical experiences, right? Because Piscean realm is that mystical, it's dreams, it's symbols, but we have to know what it means here, right? Sometimes a burning house in a dream doesn't mean that in reality. Sometimes it's like something's burning, something's going that needs to go, right? And that is actually a very beautiful thing. It's a symbolic nature. And so we're bringing in something and anchoring something real that may have previously felt impossible. So it feels really positive. The divine masculine with Saturn is like, how can we lead in each of us, regardless of gender, our divine masculine, our divine yang pillar of truth and integrity and honor to the sacred path of love and healing and altruism, the bodhisattva, the sacred warrior, right, the samurai, so to speak. So also one of the reasons I think many people are feeling called to solitude during this eclipse. April 17th, Venus conjuncts the North Node. So some evolution will be coming through around what came through the eclipse portal. Love is in the air, self-love is in the air, abundance, new adventures, trying something different, something you haven't tried before. Aesthetics are changing, our values are shifting. And I think, this happening around the time of the Jupiter Uranus conjunction on the 20th is very significant. It speaks to me because Venus is the guardian or ruler of Taurus. It speaks to me that we want to look at what is the new values. We have our old values, some of those are not going to change, but the priority list might change a little in our value list because of where we are in any given moment. And so really paying attention to what does our list of priorities look like. Divine feminine characters, women might come into your life, people bringing that divine feminine energy, who are destined, who we are meant to meet on our path. These types of things will come in around April 17th. Then April 20th, I spoke about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. April 21st, the Sun in Taurus squares Pluto. So of course we have the Sun entering the sign of Taurus. I actually don't have the exact date on that pulled up, so let me pull that up. But the Sun squaring Pluto in Aquarius is illuminating, okay, now we have all this progress, that Uranus activation, we're moving forward, but Pluto is in Aquarius showing us, the shadows of becoming too detached from our physical bodies, maybe becoming too futurist and too galactic and forgetting our earthly star seed of Gaia, where we live. She is our star seed. She is literally the seed of life from our star soul. She is galactic. She is our spaceship Earth. She is the driver of ascension. If you are following into how we might be ascending into a higher dimensional reality or higher states of awareness, which is pretty obvious if we look around the world, and how what it means to be human is completely transforming at this time. This means we have to consciously develop our philosophy, our thought, our values in new ways. We have to challenge ourselves, people thought the world was going to end in 2000 because of the way a computer was programmed, or because of the way they failed to program our calendars in a computer, or now there's this fear of AI. But if we cultivate and we guide that development very consciously, it could be incredibly beautiful. We don't know. And so it's kind of working us out of a space of fear as the sun squares Pluto and saying, take action, be a light, be a thought leader, have conversations, become who you want to be in this new earth. Make yourself a part of the conversations in your community, in your family, in your friend groups. This is a great time to confront things. We can do it diplomatically. We can do it lovingly. We can do it gracefully, right? But we don't have to sit back and do nothing or say nothing and expect things to change. This is the kind of month that brings profound change. So choose to be a part of the change before change chooses you, as my friend Brett says. Sun entering Taurus on April 19th, and then we'll shortly after square Uranus on the 21st. And then Beltane follows, which is always one of my favorite holy days. May 1st, we also have Venus square Pluto. So the Sun square Pluto is also a Venus square Pluto. So all of our values are ready to transform. And they're saying, stay grounded, stay in Taurus, stay in what feels good, what brings pleasure, what enhances beauty, what enhances connection, flesh to flesh connection, eye to eye, heart to heart, physical codes. Taurus is the code carrier, receiver, and activator. So this is about physical gatherings, right? So technology, not to replace our connection in the physical form, but to facilitate and enhance that, to become more of a global species so that we can share ideas and knowledge and information and come together in the physical plane more easily, more readily. I think that the evolution of humanity is beyond what we can even imagine, right? We might say, and Dane Rudhyar in the esoteric text said that humans are just becoming stars, yet again, which will birth new consciousness and new beings. And however we might view this world, this dimension, the meaning of life, what brings me back to center is walking and living in the beauty way. Is it beautiful? Does it make life more beautiful? Does it bring more love, more abundance, more enjoyment of this life? And that mix with all this Aries energy this month is like, would we be happy if everything was just totally perfect? We would still choose to self-evolve, to self-develop. Like even if we put our consciousness inside a machine and we don't have to die, or, technology and stem cells regenerates us and we can live for thousands of years, we're still gonna die and be reborn on a soul level. We'll still have dark nights of the soul, I can imagine, right? So this is an invitation to balance that desire for beauty and grace and harmony this month with the beauty of challenge and transformation and pushing ourselves to strive to new heights, new awarenesses, new revelations, new growth. I mean, it just seems to be the way life works. Even in nature, chaos is a part of the system. Death is a part of the system. They asked me in my interview last week, because they interviewed all the presenters, what is regeneration to you? Well, I have a degree in sustainable environmental systems and community systems, and I can talk all about whole systems thinking and feeding the system and not degenerating it, but actually death is a part of every system. Eventually, a system will collapse into chaos, and from the chaos emerges something perfect, something coherent, something regenerative, something efficient, and it always wants beauty and diversity. We see similar themes. And so where can we embrace, as this eclipse, Jupiter Uranus, the squares to Pluto might bring what seems like chaos? How can we see the magic in that? The field of potential opens there for something new to be born, and the secret ingredient is consciousness. Our consciousness directs how energy organizes and manifests. So stay staying clear on what we want. Sometimes that's what we don't, knowing what we don't want. That can be enough. Moving towards the courage of heart to choose our highest, most beautiful life and welcome the challenges that grow us into our superhuman selves, because we don't get to be superhuman if we don't have something awesome to accomplish, right? So bringing you all a little Aries love this month, sending blessings from the Mayan Riviera, the Yucatan sacred lands here. And please tell me how your eclipse goes and where you'll be. Keep me posted, and I will see you all soon. Mwah.